The good news is, after all of that setup, the model itself is going to be pretty easy. What we're going to do is we're going to make one finger and then just duplicate it to make all the other fingers. So I will start by going to Create, Polygon Primitives, Cylinder. It looks just like a finger already. My work here is done. That's not true at all. The default cylinder is pretty awful. It's got a lot of geometry this way. It's got triangles in the top and in the bottom. It's short, it's stout, it doesn't match the finger at all. So I am going to come over to my channel box. And in the channel box, this is going to be the index finger, so I will rename it Index Finger. Down under Inputs, I'm going to open up Polycylinder 1. And in Polycylinder 1, the first thing I'm going to do is change the subdivision's axis. This I'm going to change to 8. I'm not even going to mess around with my middle mouse drag, I'm just going to change it to 8. 8 is a magic number. 8 is a magic number because it's 4 times 2. Quads are units of 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 sides on a cylinder is going to work out really well for me, and I will show you why as soon as I'm done with my inputs. The subdivision's height I'm going to set to 3 so that I have an edge loop for each of the knuckles, one here, one here. And now I'm going to come back up to the radius and the height. The radius will make my cylinder a little wider, maybe like so, and the height will make my cylinder taller, maybe like that. At this point, I'm going to use my Move tool, just see how I'm doing blocking out that index. It looks like it's completely covered there, and here as well. So those are probably good values for me to start with. Now, if I come to the top view and I go to Edge Mode, I'm going to select this diagonal edge, this diagonal edge, this diagonal edge, and this diagonal edge. So I've got 4 diagonal edges selected. You'll note that I've left the vertical and horizontal edges alone. With these 4 diagonal edges selected, I am going to press Delete. And what that does is it leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4 four-sided faces. So now up here on the top, I've got 4 four-sided faces. And that's great. It means that my finger is going to be all quad except for the bottom. Now these bottom faces are where the finger connects to the palm. So I don't actually need to have them here because at some point I am going to have a palm object. So these faces can all be deleted because they are going to be where the palm is. Now my finger really is all quads, and that means it's time for me to start working. Before I do, the last thing I'm going to say is that right now I cannot see my image planes anymore. The model is blocking them. You have 2 options. One is that you can press the 4 key on your keyboard to move into wireframe. The other is that you can go to the shading menu at the top of each panel and move into X-ray mode. In both cases, you will be able to see through the model. X-ray mode, you'll still see some of the shading. For my part, I prefer using 4 and 5 to move back and forth between shading and wireframe, but you'll find the workflow that works for you, and either one is fine. In the next video, I will rough out the finger using the edge loops that we've already got, and then talk about adding some detail for the knuckles. See you soon.